students, welcome to the second chapter of your Beehive. You remember you have two books, Beehive and Moments. So here we are going to begin the second chapter of your Beehive book. And the name of the chapter is The Sound of Music by Deborah Cowley. Now, before we begin every chapter, we are going to learn about the author who has written the story. Yes, we will know a little bit about the author and then we will begin the chapter. Now, there will be few words which maybe you don't understand in English. Now, I will try my level best to give you the most easiest explanation. There will be at times when I will switch over to Hindi. Now, Hindi for those who still cannot understand that English explanation. So, at times, kabhi, yes, I will switch over to Hindi just to make sure that you all understand every line and every word of every chapter. Is that clear? Yes. And along with the chapter, along with the paragraph, you will watch now, there will be meanings given below, which will make it very easy. It will make it very simple for you to understand the text. Yes? So we have tried our level best that everything goes perfectly well into your head, it gets registered. Yes, because once you understand the entire chapter, you will be able to frame your own answers. You will have no issues at all in writing your answers. There will be questions asked maybe for 1 mark, maybe for 2 marks, maybe for 3, 4 or 5. You will be able to frame the answers as per the marks allotted. I hope you have understood it. Yes, so now with your permission, may I proceed? So here we go with the second chapter of Beehive, The Sound of Music by Deborah Cowley. Now, just like I mentioned to you, first we will know a little background about the author. It's nice to know, the author whose story you are reading. Yes, so let's know about her. Deborah Cowley is a writer and a broadcaster who has written over 100 articles for different editions of the Reader's Digest. I'm sure we are all aware of the Reader's Digest, aren't we? We must have surely read. If you haven't, you should read them. They are amazing. They are highly informative. And she has also worked as an on-air broadcaster for CBC Radio, Washington, D.C. and CBC TV, London, Cairo and Egypt. Deborah Cowley was born in India. Wow, now she was born here. Well, after she's brought up, doesn't really seem so. So she was born in India. She grew up in Toronto, Canada. Now that matters. Graduated from the University of Western Ontario and moved to Ottawa. So basically, she was born here, but after that, her journey has been way different. So there she is, right in front of you. Now, this story, The Sound of Music, has 2 parts to it, right? So first, this is our first part. Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it. Now, isn't that topic, the title of the chapter, a little complicated or confusing? Again, Evelyn Glennie listens to sound. She listens to the sound without hearing it. Wow. I mean, that's really getting you curious, isn't it? Yes, let's see what it is there. Now, this is the plot. Plot is the gist of the chapter, right? The gist, the entire story in short. That's called the gist. You will understand it better once we read it. So this tells you about the entire chapter. Evelyn Glennie listens to sound without hearing it is an account of a girl who fought against her hearing disability and made her life a success story. उसे सुनाई नहीं देता था, उसके बावजूद she made her life a success story. Now it is so beautiful. Just imagine, she had this problem of listening. She was deaf. She could not hear, right? Yet, in spite of it, she made her life a success story. Now, isn't that interesting? We should go ahead, right? Let's move on and catch up. Evelyn Glennie is a multi-percussionist. What do you mean by percussionist? See, like I told you, this is the text and here is the meaning. So you will never have a problem. You don't need to open a dictionary, right, to refer to things, and you have it on the same page, so it makes life way easier for you. Yes? So percussionist is a person who plays musical instruments in which the sound is produced by striking them. For example, drums or cymbals, etc. So, you know, when you hit an instrument, when you hit something, when you strike an instrument and the sound comes, that person who is playing it is called a percussionist, right? So basically drums, tabla, all the hitting instruments, all the striking ones, yes? So those who play that are called percussionists. So Evelyn Glennie is a multi-percussionist. मतलब जो भी musical instrument है जिससे उसको, you know, where you have to hit it, you know, there she would do a wonderful job, right? So let's see. She can play about 1,000 instruments with perfection. Wow! Can you imagine? She is deaf. Sunai nahi deta. Yet she can play 1,000 instruments with perfection. She listens to sound without hearing it. She cannot hear the sound, but she listens. So yes, what is the difference between listen and hearing? Do you really know it? Okay, here I go. Hearing is, now when I'm talking to you, probably there is a car and in the background you can hear the birds chirping, you can hear the sound of the fan, you can hear the sound of a car honking. Yes, all these you are hearing, you're not paying attention. But right now what I am telling you, you are listening. That means your concentration is on the words which I am speaking. Right? So when you pay attention to someone, you know, when he or she is speaking, that is called listening. You listen to what your teachers tell you in class. Yes? When you lose concentration, then you don't understand anything. But when you are focusing, when you are concentrating on what they say, yes, that is listening. So I hope the difference is clear. Yes? So, she listens to the sound without hearing it. She is a source of inspiration for thousands of disabled persons. She is an example. She is a live example, for all the people, for all the disabled, the mentally challenged, the physically handicapped people, right? Those who have any kind of issue in the whole body. Maybe they don't have their leg or their hands or their fingers or whatever, right? Anything physically challenged, right? Some problem in the body. For them, she is a source of inspiration. People look at her and they feel, oh my God, even we can do it. If she is deaf and she can be a percussionist, why not we? So she is a source of inspiration. And how she is the source of inspiration? Let's get it from the chapter ahead. Now the story is really wonderful. It's very interesting. Please stay connected. Yes, I want your eyes, I want your ears, and I want you to focus on everything that I say. Yeah, let's go. Now like I told you, you can see the words in blue. Yes, they are highlighted in blue, and here they are a little difficult. So here you have the meanings to make it very simple for you. Yes, so let's go on. Rush hour crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. Now this is a scene where it's a platform, the trains keep coming, going, people are jostling. What do you mean by jostling? They push roughly. You know, dhakka mukhi jisko hum kehte hain, this is jostle, right? So rush hour crowds jostle for position on the underground train platform. They are trying to make place. Whenever they board the train, हम जैसे लोकल ट्रेन्स में, जैसे मुंबई अगर आप गए हो तो मुंबई में अगर आपने देखा हो तो जैसे ही लोकल ट्रेन आती है एक सब धक्का मुक्की सब जगह होती है, एंड देन दे वांट टू गो एंड कैच अ सीट, दे वांट टू सिट, राइट? A slight girl looking younger than her 17 years was nervous yet excited as she felt the vibrations of the approaching train. Now this girl, who is small and she is thin, right? Here it is slight, small and thin, looking younger than 17. She was not even 17 years old and she was nervous. She was a little scared, but she was excited. Why? She felt the vibrations of the approaching train. जब ट्रेन प्लेटफॉर्म की तरफ आती है, you know, when it's entering the platform, we all feel shaky. वो पूरा प्लेटफॉर्म वो एक ट्रेमर सा, एक शेकिंग सा होता है, right? Now remember, उसे दिखाई तो देता है बट सुनाई नहीं देता है, right? So she felt the vibrations of the approaching train. It was her first day at the prestigious Royal Academy of Music in London. It was her first day where at a very respected, at a very well-known, very reputed Royal Academy of Music in London, and daunting enough, frightening enough for any teenager fresh from a Scottish farm. Now she was a beginner. It was her very first day. Now she had joined this Royal Academy of Music to learn more music. So because she was going on the very first day, she was nervous, she was scared, right? She was just a young teenager, not even 17, and she had come from a Scottish farm. But this aspiring musician, a person who wants to become a musician, right? Now she loved music. She wanted to learn a lot of music. So she was an aspiring musician. She faced a bigger challenge than most. She was profoundly deaf. She was totally deaf. She could not hear even a little bit. She was totally deaf. She could hear nothing. Evelyn Glennie's loss of hearing had been gradual. Now, she had not become deaf suddenly. It was a very gradual process, you know, very slowly. It had started before. They did not realize it. It was a very gradual, it was a slow process. Suddenly, she did not become deaf. Her mother remembers noticing something was wrong when the 8-year-old Evelyn was waiting to play the piano. Now her mom realizes, you know, she thinks that when Evelyn was 8 years old and she was about to play the piano, what had happened? They called her name and she didn't move. You know, her name was called that, okay, Evelyn, now you can start playing the piano. But she didn't begin playing. She did not hear. I suddenly realized she hadn't heard, says Isabel Glennie. Now, Isabel Glennie is Evelyn Glennie's mother, right? So that is the time she realized when the, you know, on the speaker, you know, the sound had come. They announced it on the stage that, okay, now Evelyn Glennie is going to play the piano. But Evelyn did not start. She did not play the piano. Why? Because she had not heard the instructions. For quite a while, Evelyn managed to conceal her growing deafness from friends and teachers. For quite some time, she managed to conceal as in to keep a secret or to hide. उसने बहुत कोशिश की कि अपने दोस्तों और अपने टीचर्स को ये बात नहीं पता चले. But what happened? But by the time she was 11, her marks had deteriorated and her headmistress urged her parents to take her to a specialist. कोशिश तो बहुत की, लेकिन हुआ क्या? When she was 11, her marks had deteriorated. उसके marks कम होते गए. Why? Because obviously उसे सुनाई नहीं दे रहा था. Whatever the teacher was teaching, she couldn't hear. And her headmistress, so the headmistress, the principal, she requested the parents, she told them, she forcefully told them, look, you all need to do something. She cannot hear. There is some problem with her. So please go to a specialist. It was then discovered that her hearing was severely impaired. What do you mean by impaired? It had weakened. The ability to hear, right? It had gone totally down. It had weakened. As a result of gradual nerve damage. There is a nerve, there is a nerve here, and that nerve had got damaged. They were advised that she should be fitted with hearing aids and sent to a school for the deaf. So the specialist told the parents that, look, you have to have the hearing aid. You have that small thing that comes. With that, they can hear, right? And also, please send her to a school for the deaf. So, there they have the dumb charades type. They have their own language of actions to speak. Everything suddenly looked black, says Evelyn. That time she realized that, oh my God, everything was like a full stop for her. Everything was black. She did not know what to do. She was in a shock. But Evelyn was not going to give up. Now, that's the spirit. This is where she began making her success story. She did not sit down. She did not start crying. She was not depressed. She said, okay, I have the problem. You know what? This is how it goes. When you have a problem, don't focus on the problem. Start looking for solutions, because every problem comes with a solution. So what she did was, she did not give up. She accepted. She says, okay, I have the issue. So what? I need to continue. I want to become a musician, and that's sure. But how? Let's figure it out. Now, this is what she did. She was determined to lead a normal life and pursue her interest in music. She definitely wanted to follow or seek to attain a goal. She wanted to continue. She says, look, I want to become a musician, means irrespective. I don't care, whatever be the problem, I will look for a solution. One day she noticed a girl playing a xylophone and decided that she wanted to play it too. Now she saw the girl playing a xylophone and she says, okay, even I want to play this. Most of the teachers discouraged her, but percussionist Ron Forbes spotted her potential. Now she said, I want to play. She could see, right? She says, I want to play it. The teacher said, not possible. It's not possible. You can't hear. But there was a percussionist, another percussionist who used to, you remember the meaning, right? Where you have to hit an instrument. So Ron Forbes, he discovered, he spotted, said, this girl can do something. She definitely can. So what he did was, he began by tuning two large drums to different notes. Now, what do you mean by tuning? He started adjusting a musical instrument. You have the different beats, the different rhythm. So he did that, and to different notes, that is tones of a musical instrument. He adjusted them. Don't listen through your ears, he would say. Try to sense it some other way. He says, don't try to listen it from your ears, because she had her hearing aids, but still, he says, don't do that. In some other way, you catch the sound. You catch the sound of the music. How? Now that's a challenge. Says Evelyn, suddenly I realized I could feel the higher drum from the waist up and the lower one from waist down. Now you remember he had adjusted, he had done the tuning and the notes as per the notes. So you know what happened? There was this higher drum and there was a lower drum. The higher drum, she could feel the sound from the waist up. When she played that, it went from the waist up. She could feel the vibes. You know, when someone plays a drum, you can feel that in your body. You know, that movement comes. And the lower one, from the waist down, when she hit the lower one, she could feel the sound below her waist. Now, this is how she started getting it. Forbes repeated the exercise. He kept repeating that, and soon Evelyn discovered that she could sense, she could feel certain notes in different parts of her body. Now that was Ron Forbes. Now this is where he saw the potential. He says, this girl will be able to do something big. He was there with her as a mentor. He guided her, and he guided her in a very different manner, just like you saw it. She started feeling the sound of music in different parts. So whenever she had the different taps on the drum, you know, she could feel it in different parts of her body. This is how she made it. I had learned to open my mind and body to sounds and vibrations. No ears, but the mind and the body. She used them to get to the sounds and the vibrations. Now we all know what are vibrations. Oscillation of the parts of a fluid or an elastic solid whose equilibrium has been disturbed, shaking, quivering or trembling. It is sort of shaking. Vibrations when you're shaking, right? So when you hit that drum, you know, you get that tremor, you get that shake, that feel, that trembling. The rest was sheer determination and hard work. It was complete determination and hard work, because she had made up her mind. She was in love with music. She wanted to become a musician, and that was final from her heart. It was her determination. And that's the reason she put in a lot of hard work and she made her success story. She actually weaved her success story. She never looked back from that point onwards. Wahin se uske raaste khule. She realized that, look, now I can feel, I cannot hear, I can feel the sound of the drums in different parts of the body, and that is how she started making music. She started composing. She toured the United Kingdom with a youth orchestra, and by the time she was 16, she had decided to make music her life. Now, do you see? She toured the United Kingdom. She went to UK. She went all around UK. She started with London, and then she went all around with a youth orchestra. Can you see the whole thing? That's an orchestra, right? A group of instrumentalists. All of them together, it's a group. And by the time she was 16, she had decided to make music her life. She said, okay, this is me and this is my life. That's it. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in the history of the Academy. She auditioned, as in she gave a short performance for a judge to decide whether it is enough. You know, you give auditions, right? So many reality programs, you all are giving auditions, even in school, right? And then you are shortlisted. So this is what she did. She also did the same, where for the Royal Academy of Music and in the history of the Royal Academy of Music, she actually scored one of the highest marks. She gradually moved from orchestral work to solo performances. Wow. Now, if you are in this crowd, you are not noticed, right? I mean, even if you're sitting behind, nobody will know. But then she had the guts, she was brave, she was bold. What did she do? She started from a group and she moved on to solo performances. A single person performing for an audience. She was the only person on the stage performing in front of the audience. At the end of her 3-year course, she had captured most of the top awards. Yes, end of the 3-year course. She did the 3-year course, but by that time, she had got most of the top awards. She had won it. She had earned it. And for all this, Evelyn won't accept any hint of heroic achievement. She says, that's not it. Not a big deal. If you work hard and know where you are going, you'll get there. Now, isn't that a very beautiful message for all of us? You have your boards coming up, yeah, the next year. But even before that, you have your exams for the 9th. Don't you think that this is very important? If you work hard and know where you are going, you'll get there. You know where you are heading. You've kept a goal. Your focus is there. You are concentrating on that. I want to be a ranker, no matter what. Now, see, it's not important to be a ranker, but while you are studying, that's the ultimate thing you want. Yes, it's good to be an all-rounder. Definitely, undoubtedly. You should participate in everything. See, being a ranker does not mean that you're a bookworm. That all the time you're studying, that's not what I mean. But whatever be your focus, please concentrate and you'll know exactly where you're going. And she got right to the top. The world's most sought after multi-percussionist with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments and hectic international schedule. Now, she was absolutely on top. She reached the peak of success. She had success wherever she went. She even had a hectic international schedule. So apart from UK, she went to even other international countries. You know, when you are physically challenged, people have the curiosity. How can she do it? How can she be a musician if she cannot hear? How is it possible? So people want to actually see that is it true? Yes, and she proved it to them. She became a multi-percussionist and she could really, she mastered some of 1,000 instruments. Not even 1, 200, 1,000 instruments. All the instruments which required beating, which required striking, she mastered. She became very good at all that. It is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. Now, it is intriguing as in it is fascinating, it is curious. Like I told you, you definitely feel, how is it possible to watch her function, to watch her operate so effortlessly, so easily, so smoothly, so flawlessly? She was perfect. She was absolutely perfect at it without hearing. In our 2-hour discussion, she never missed a word. They had a discussion for 2 hours and she heard every word. Men with bushy beards give me trouble, she laughed. It is not just watching the lips, it's the whole face, especially the eyes. She speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt. Now she says, when men have bushy beards, she cannot read the lips. Right? She cannot read the lips and she has a problem. She says it's not just the lips. It is also the eyes, that speak. So, when you're happy, your eyes are so open. When you're sad, your eyes are down. Even your eyes speak. When you're angry, you can show your anger through your eyes. Right? So, basically, it's the whole face. She speaks flawlessly without a mistake, without a single fault, with a Scottish way of speaking, with a Scottish accent. My speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11. Till 11 she could hear, right? So she had taken a lot. That's the reason her speech is good. But that doesn't explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. Wow! She even went on to learn international languages. She even learned French and the basic Japanese. Now, learning a new language is definitely not simple. I mean, today, even if you and I have to do it, we have to listen to so much because language is all about listening, speaking, reading and writing. But first comes listening, and that is where she had the biggest issue. But then it wasn't an issue for her. Yes, and she mastered even the basic Japanese. As for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. I just get the feel. She feels the music. It tingles in the skin. It causes a slight pricking or stinging sensation. When the beat comes, you can feel it, right? In the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. Oh, wow. So it's the skin, it's the cheekbones, and it's even in the hair. I think we should put on some music and try it maybe. Yeah? But we can hear, so God bless. When she plays the xylophone, she can sense the sound passing up the stick into her fingertips. Okay, so when she's playing that, the stick, she feels that on her fingertips. So she has the different rhythms, the different beats, she feels them in different parts, the different fingertips. By leaning against the drums, when she's nearly there in front of the drums, maybe she's, touching the drums, she can feel the resonances flowing into her body, as in the echo of the sound, the different echoes. So if you hit the drum loudly, you have a louder sound. If you hit it lightly, you have a lighter sound. So when she's against it, when she's just near the drums, she can feel that echo of the sound. On a wooden platform as in the stage that she walks on, the raised floor wherever she's going to perform, she removes her shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and up her legs. So yeah, now when you have this wooden floor, and even if someone is tick-tock, you can feel that on the floor, right? So she would remove her shoes, she would be bare feet, and she would keep her feet on the floor. And when they would have the sounds, that the vibrations, when you're doing it, it's all on the stage, right? So she would pass, she could feel it through her bare feet because she would remove her shoes and up her legs. From the feet, it would go upwards and she could understand it. That was her way of understanding music. Now, actually, if you look at this text entirely, it's literally a 4 marks question, maybe 3, anywhere between 3 and 4. How are the different ways she actually heard music? How did she do it? So this is the one, this is the paragraph. Yes? Not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences. She makes them really happy. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. She bagged many awards, not 1, not 2, but many. Says master percussionist James Blades, God may have taken her earring, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any of us. What we all can hear, she can feel, and she feels it right to the core of her heart, right? Totally very deep sensation. That is why she expresses music so beautifully, because she can feel the music and so she can express it beautifully. That is the great one. Now, it's a very, I don't know if you've come across this, but it's very truly said, that when God takes away one thing, maybe the sight, or like for her, the visual, the audio. Now, he gives you another extraordinary power, but you have to discover it. You don't have to sit with depression. You don't have to sit there crying and, oh God, why me? Why of all the people me? Don't do that. Just get up and fight it. Now, that is basically for the physically challenged. But even otherwise, if you are not good at something, don't cry over it. Try to master. Take the bull by its horns. Yes, you have to be those people who never give up. That's this beautiful message that we are getting from this lovely story. Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic. Workaholic is a person who finds it difficult to stop working. For them, work is worship. Work is God. So they can never stop working, and the best part is they enjoy doing what they are doing. They don't get tired at all. I've just got to work, often harder than classical musicians, but the rewards are enormous. Rewards are unlimited. She keeps winning them on and on and on. Apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives free concerts in prisons and hospitals. Oh, you know, when you get something in abundance, when you're good at something, learn to give it back to the society. And how did she give it back to the society? She gives free concerts in prisons and hospitals. Prisons, you know how the prisoners are, they're all frustrated. So when they listen to her, even they are motivated. Hospitals, people are sick. The patients are, maybe they are about to die, or maybe they're going through a lot of, health issues. She makes them feel good with her music. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. The young musician, now remember, she was the young one also when she began. So she makes sure that she teaches them. Anne Richland of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says, she is a shining inspiration for the deaf children. She is a shining inspiration as in a person who inspires you, who makes you feel good that, okay, so what if this is there? Let's go on. That's how it is. So she was an inspiration for all the deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they cannot go. She made her way. So when they see her, so successful, they say, oh, even we can do it. So we have a way. She is there. She is the role model. Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. People who are twice her age, she has received, she has made an achievement more than those people also who are twice her age. She has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra. She has brought percussion to the front as in she has made something prominent or noticeable. She has popularized, right? Generally, this was kept behind. Now she has brought it to the front of the orchestra and demonstrated that it can be very moving. It makes a big difference. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped, people who look to her and say, if she can do it, I can. And not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions and millions of people. Her music has been so soothing. It has been a pleasure to millions and millions of hearts. They've all enjoyed every bit of her music, the music which she feels, which she does not hear. So students, here we are at the end of the chapter. Now you have to see what you have got from this chapter. Look, every story that we read, every story that we read, we definitely have some message coming out of it. And if you use that message in your life practically, trust me, you will soon be weaving a success story. You will start, it will begin. It's, like the snowball action. It will start and it will keep rolling and become bigger and bigger and bigger. So once you are all set to take off in your career, this is what it is. It will be a beautiful success story. But for the same, remember, you are blessed. After listening to this, don't you feel so? Yes, we all know we can give it our best. With the grace of God, if we are totally 100% perfect, God has blessed us with a perfect body. If she can do it, we can too. So, thank you for watching and keep smiling.